Today I'm going to talk about my poster. I choose the novel The Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. First of all, I want to talk about the author. Emily Bronte was a 19th century British novel and poet, best known for her only novel, Wuthering Heights, a classic of English novel or literature. She was born in 1818. She was the fifth of six children in Bronte family. Despite facing personal strategies and living in a society that discouraged female writers, Emily, along with two sisters, left the indelible mark on literature. Her profound influence continued to inspire and captivate readers worldwide, even after her untimely death at the age of 13 in 1848. And now, let's look at the poster, and I divide to three sections: setting, the characters, and the main stage. First, we're going to look at the setting of the poster. The novel Wuthering Heights happens in the time 18th century, and the story ends in 1800. The place happened is the remote district of Yorkshire in New England, the Wuthering Heights and the Cross Grange. The social environment is in the Victorian period. Power status plays important part in the portrayal of social class, and the atmosphere of the novel is stormy, unpleasant weather. The Yorkshire moor can be beautiful as well as violent one, representing the parallel to the love of Catherine and Heathcliff. This is two characters in the novel. And here is the main character, three main characters. This is the Heathcliff, Catherine Earnshaw, and Edgar Linton. Heathcliff, he is either the protagonist and antagonist of this novel. His immense, untamed love for Catherine drives him to manipulate those around him, but despite his actions, he regains a complex character, a poor orphan who gains material success, but still yearns for Catherine loves. And the next is Catherine Earnshaw. She is stunning, fascinating woman. She is torn between her desires for Edgar's Lazarus and her wild adventures with Heathcliff, whom she loved intensely but did not marry. She dies giving birth to her Edgar's daughter Cathy, and her death profoundly affects both Heathcliff and Edgar. And finally, they say that Edgar Linton, he's a gentle, affectionate country gentleman who adores with his wife and his daughter. He is mostly good-natured and personal as well. He detests Heathcliff, and although simply fragile, but he possesses a quiet and instrument strength. The novel, I think I'm going to divide it four stages. The first stage is Mr. Lockwood and his visit at Wuthering Heights. In 1801, Mr. Lockwood writes in his diary of his visit Wuthering Heights. He lives in Cross Grange, a neighboring estate from the owner of Wuthering Heights, an ill-tempered named Heathcliff. During his first two visits at Wuthering Heights, he encounters Heathcliff, a beautiful young a woman named Catherine and muscle boy named Harrington. Lockwood incorrectly understand their relations, and entangled family ties catch his interest. Back at Thorncross Grange, Lockwood asked the male Mrs. Ellen Dean to tell him the tale of the families of Wuthering Heights and Thorncross. Next, the stay number two. The stay number two. Okay. The stay number two. Here. The stay number two is Heathcliff's childhood and his crutch. Miss Dean's story begins when she just a girl serving Wuthering Heights, which was at the time owned by Mr. Earnshaw, close to Ellen's age, and Earnshaw's children, Hindley Earnshaw, the eldest, and Catherine Earnshaw, the youngest. One day, Mr. Earnshaw brings back home homeless gypsy boy he found in the streets in town, named him Heathcliff, and decided to raise him as his own son. Hindley kindled and a hatred toward the dark boy, but Catherine, with her wild nature, quickly fond of him. The two spent all the time together, out wander the moor, and getting into trouble. During the play, Catherine and Heathcliff travel for miles from the Thorncross Grange, the neighbor estate. There they see Edgar and Isabel Linton, who are opposite in nature to them, where Catherine and Heathcliff are wild and wakeful. Edgar and Isabel are spoiled and soft. Catherine is hurt and tended by the Linton family, who shun Heathcliff for his unruly appearances. From that point on, Catherine begins spending time with both Heathcliff and Edgar. Eventually, Edgar proposed to Catherine, and she accepted because Edgar is handsome and wealthy. She acknowledged that Heathcliff will always share her soul, but that Edgar is the right choice for marriage because he's social standing. When Heathcliff finds out, he runs away from Wuthering Heights and not seen again for 3 years. Next, the stay number 3. The stay number 3. Heathcliff's return and his revenge. One day, Heathcliff travels back. He has immense fortune, although no one knows its source, and makes him mind to take a revenge on Hindley Earnshaw and Edgar Linton. He begins his revenge by marrying Isabella Linton and make her miserable. Eventually, being torn between two jealous men, Edgar and Heathcliff drives Catherine to madness. She becomes delusional and ill, and the doctor said she's never recover. She pregnant with Edgar's child, however, managed to live long enough to give birth a baby girl, also named Catherine, so I'll call her Cathy for short. After Catherine dies, Hindley dies as well. Upon his death, Heathcliff seizes all his properties as well as his son Harrington, because Hindley owed Heathcliff so much in debt. Isabella runs away and has Heathcliff's sons named Linton. The story's second half begins when Kathy is 13. She has never heard of Wuthering Heights or Heathcliff because Edgar's hatred for the man. She wanders into Wuthering Heights one day and becomes aware of her cousin Hareton, whom she mistake for a common servant, seeing Heathcliff didn't allow the boy an education like him when he was a child. Later, Edgar received a letter that Isabella is dying and wished him to take Linton to live at the Thorncross Grange. Edgar fetches the boy only to have Heathcliff take him away. He has no love for the weakling child but wants him because his property of Thorncross. When Kathy is 16, she ends up at Wuthering Heights again and becomes acquainted with her late cousin Linton. Although he is sickly and spoiled, she develops a soft spot for him. Heathcliff wishes them to marry so as to have her inheritance. Eventually, he forces the union, and Edgar dies soon after. Following closely behind, Linton, who was never expect to reach adulthood because his poor health, Heathcliff now owes both the Heights and the Grange and make Kathy miserable. And the last stage is the message of hatred. The message of hatred. Upon hearing the Ellens tell, Lockwood decided not to spend any more time in the country and has to town. Six months later, however, he returned to find Hareton and Kathy getting along well and Ellen working at Wuthering Heights. When he asked Ellen to fight him, in how this possible situation came to be, she continues where she left off. After Lockwood left, Ellen was invited to the Heights to work. She gladly accepted and watched as Kathy and Hareton begin from a friendship. Around this time, Heathcliff began acting strangely, seem apparent and talking to himself. One day, Heathcliff dies in his sleep and buried beside Catherine. The town people tell of two ghosts, a male and female, haunting the moors. Kathy and Hareton are to be wed and planned on living at Thorncross Grange. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening and see you next time.